Hey everybody, this is the Esoteric Cross. I make videos about how to gain your personal power while learning ancient secrets, and if that sounds like something that you're into, please hit the like button and subscribe and gain insight from this perspective in the cosmos. In this video, we're going to dive into the Major Arcana cards in Tarot and talk more about this journey that these cards describe. Tarot is an amazing way to gain more insight into the self and the archetypes that our consciousness embodies. It's also a great way to show us where we are within our journey and what stage of development that we're in. This is great because this can offer us some guidance on what we can do next and maybe even what we can expect to happen next. Tarot has a fascinating connection with Kabbalah, which is an ancient form of Jewish mysticism, and I talk a lot about the connection here on this channel. This connection is made very obvious by the structure of the deck. There are 22 Major Arcana cards as there are 22 paths on the Tree of Life. There are 4 worlds of Kabbalah, and they are connected to the 4 elements and the 4 levels of creation. These are the 4 suits in Tarot. There are 10 cards of each suit and there are 10 spheres on the Tree of Life. There are 4 court cards as well as 4 worlds of Kabbalah. This connection is very obvious when you observe the structure of the deck, and this is implied but wasn't explicitly stated when the first decks were being used in the 1400s. In the early 1900s, the Rider-Waite Tarot deck was created, and this had a much stronger connection with the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. This deck was created with an intention for it to be worked with by a Golden Dawn ceremonial magician along their initiation journey. It's important to note that the Rider-Waite deck was created for initiation and not explicitly for divination, although they can definitely be used in that way. We observe the Rider-Waite deck because it has powerful symbolism that is specifically geared towards Golden Dawn ceremonial magicians. This deck shows us that initiation process. The Major Arcana shows us the big steps along this initiation, and the Minor Arcana shows us the smaller aspects of the initiation, but this will be much more about the minor details in day-to-day life. For today's video, we're going to take a walk through the Major Arcana cards and talk about the representations of the aspects of this journey. This journey starts with the archetype of the Fool. This is the place where we are searching for knowledge. There's a lack of experience, but everything that the Fool needs is in the bag that's packed for this journey. There's no thought to danger that lies ahead along this path, and sometimes the lack of awareness of the danger can take the Fool a lot farther. There's a sense of detachment to the outcome because the Fool does not know exactly where the destination of this journey lies. The next card is labeled 1, and this is the Magician. The Magician is the creator of his reality. This will represent you learning about the 4 elements and how to work with them. As a Golden Dawn ceremonial magician, you are balancing these 4 aspects of your consciousness and learning how to use them to manifest your reality. There's a realization that the mind is the most powerful tool as it directs your conscious awareness, growing a garden in the place where it is directed. The High Priestess is strongly associated with lunar energy, and this is about the subconscious mind. There's a veil behind the High Priestess, and this represents what is hidden within the subconscious. There are many things that have not been brought to the surface yet. There's a stillness within this card, and this can be a call to sit within that stillness and to see what comes up from the watery depths of the subconscious. This is the part of the journey where we start to uncover some of the truths of the universe. There's still so much left to learn. We realize that we have this divine wisdom within, and it's going to take some experiences and shifts in order to bring this wisdom to the surface. The next card is the Empress. The Magician was about this divine masculine energy, and the High Priestess was about the divine feminine. The Empress is another archetype of the divine feminine, but this shows a different face than the High Priestess. The High Priestess was heavily veiled, representing the forces that are not seen, but are holding the universe together. The Empress has a much more obvious presence, representing the birth and the creation of nature. This is the part of the divine feminine that grows, cultivates, and nurtures life. In this aspect of the journey, we're taking our projecting divine masculine energy of the Magician and the still subconscious divine feminine energy of the High Priestess and growing the creation of our reality. The next card is the Emperor, and this is where we can see some of the results of our efforts. The Emperor is another divine masculine archetype, but this shows another face of the masculine. The Emperor rules over his kingdom and rules over everything that he's built. There's a lot of force, energy, and ambition that's needed to gain and maintain success, and the Emperor is the archetype that embodies these qualities. After we're seeing some of these results of our creation and we're starting to see some success in life going through this alchemical process or initiation, we will naturally come to a spot where we are internalizing our wisdom and experiences at a rapid pace. This is embodying the teacher archetype, the wise old man or the spiritual teacher. This can be about sharing wisdom with others, but I have another take. This is about being the teacher to the self. We gain wisdom from many places, like other teachers, reading books, through our practices and life experiences, but no matter where we gain this wisdom, it's not actually the external that's teaching us, it's ourselves and how we internalize data and information. The Lover's card is showing the alchemical marriage of the masculine and the feminine. Remember that the masculine and feminine are about external and internal energies, and this is not about male or female or gender roles. This is about projection and reception. This is about conscious and subconscious. This is the part of the journey where we are faced with a decision on whether we will keep going or give up. It's all about commitment. Are you committed to your journey? Are you committed to your consciousness? If you are committed, you will have to move forward. The chariot moves forward with willpower. You must have enough passion and willpower to keep going on your journey. It may feel like you have been through so much, and you have already, but there's still so much more left in front of you than there is behind you. Don't let that be discouraging. You only keep going by putting one foot in front of the other, little by little. You have to have a reason to keep going along your journey. The Strength card is exactly what it sounds like. This journey is building a lot of strength, and it also requires great strength to keep going forward. We will be faced with many challenges and hardships, and these will require us to use the knowledge and wisdom that we've gained. What's the point of diving into the occult and learning the knowledge of the self if we don't integrate it and use it in a practical way? As we are integrating this information, we come to a place where the old lifestyle will start to fall away. We can become the hermit. People will fall away. You may not resonate with your old friends anymore, and this can be a good thing. Following the occult path also requires a lot of alone time. We need large amounts of time to reflect on consciousness, our own life, observing the world and the processes of the universe, alone time to meditate, perform rituals, and uncovering the path that's laid out in front of us. We develop a strong sense of independence. The next spot is the Wheel of Fortune. We're about halfway through this process. This is where there can be a turning point. It's possible that we can develop a substantial amount of success here. This can also be a call to action that we must keep our mind open that there are greater forces at work and that the material is not everything. We are the microcosm within the macrocosm, and by affecting one, we can affect the other. Not only does this show that the universe can give you a lucky break, but you can also increase your chances of that by changing the aspects of yourself and doing the work. Going through the Wheel of Fortune moment will bring us to justice, and justice is about showing us our karma, whether this is good or bad. This is about balance and knowing that good times and bad times are a part of this greater cycle. We must keep our mind focused on what it is that we want to experience. Things will not always be easy. We will experience many trials and tribulations, and some can be very large. It's important to maintain presence during these times. The Hanged Man shows an illumination during a big trial. Hanging upside down, the life force energy is rushing to the head. The energy is flowing towards the suffering. Suddenly, becoming conscious of the suffering can cause an instant awakening, an instant enlightenment. This doesn't necessarily mean that it'll always be this way or that you're suddenly enlightened permanently, but there is a realization and an insight into the mechanics of the universe. If this experience is maintained, then there will be a death of the old self, a possible ego death. This is about purification. This is not always pretty, and it's not without pain and suffering. Within alchemy, purification happens when we burn away the old. The metaphorical fire is hot and excruciating, but it is cleansing. What we are left with is the pure essence that is needed for the next phases of the journey. We are left with the pure essence of the universal consciousness that is within us. The next card is Temperance. We have an angel in this card with the alchemical symbol for fire. Temperance is all about balance and continuing the journey. The balance is about the conscious and the subconscious, but also about the intense, powerful, and possibly restrictive energies with the peaceful and expansive energies. Both of these aspects are needed in the self in order to complete the alchemical process. We need to know how to use them and when each one is needed and to not lean too far in one direction. The Devil card will show us more about our shadow aspects. This can be about addictions and the pain body. Our life force energy and conscious energy can sometimes flow into places that don't really serve us. The only purpose this serves is to numb out or reject the truths of reality. Going through this aspect of the journey will teach us more about where our awareness and conscious energy flows, and it will teach us how to take these chains off. We will learn how to not get too swept away by the pleasures of life that seem innocent at first glance. It's actually the energy of temperance that can show us how to balance or deal with this devil energy. We all experience these tower moments from time to time, and it's important to note that we can be at many stages of this alchemical process at the same time and for different aspects of our life. But we are talking about the clear path from beginning to end within this initiation process of alchemy and ceremonial magic. Now, this tower moment can be small or big, but it's as if everything that we have built up can come crumbling down. Something happens that shocks us or our paradigm is shattered. The way that we saw ourselves or reality comes into question. As this tower is struck, you are faced with a decision. Do you face the real truth or deny it? You can always rebuild this tower with the newfound knowledge and wisdom that you've gained from this destruction. The next card is the Star. After the tower moment, we have this newfound knowledge and wisdom, and we're able to create much better for ourselves and others. There is this nurturing energy to this card, much like the Empress. But here, we're able to work with much more potent energies and nurture creations that may seem larger than life. The next card is the Moon. We're getting very close to the end of our journey. The Moon is all about the subconscious mind, emotions, and imagination. It's also about dishonesty and deception. We have to use our discernment, but let our intuition guide us. This is about making the unconscious conscious. We use the reflections of our subconscious and even the animalistic aspects of consciousness to guide us forward and bring us to light. Eventually, everything comes to light. We are shown the truth of what we were seeking. The sun is showing us the rebirth of the self, the new self that rises from the ashes. The sun rises from the dark night of the soul. There is positivity, vitality, and a new sense of freedom when it comes to facing these truths of the self and when it comes to this rebirth. The next card is Judgment. This is actually depicting Judgment Day. The symbolism of this isn't really about the second coming and the dead rising up from their coffins and walking the earth. The symbolism is truly about humanity waking up from their lower states of consciousness. Living in a low state of consciousness is like not even truly living life, being dead. Going through the alchemical process is going through the resurrection of the dead consciousness or unconsciousness. This is why there's so much symbolism within religions about being born again, resurrection, and rebirth. This phase of the journey is about consciousness coming into a higher state and bringing others into a higher state. The World card shows the completion of the alchemical process. Everything about this journey becomes integrated. There's this higher view and ability to view everything objectively. The opposing forces of reality have been integrated and balanced within the self. Understanding tarot can be very powerful in being able to create the life that you want or to understand where you are along your journey. Learning this is a great way to have more insight on the self and guide you on your next steps. This is meant to be very empowering. Make sure to check out the links in the description below for my classes that I offer. The class on tarot is focused on the card's relationship with the Kabbalistic tree of life, which is something that most courses in tarot don't offer. I do offer one-on-one coaching for various related topics. If you're just starting out your journey in magic, feel free to set up a session with me. Check out the link in the description below for more information as well as to where you can book a tarot reading with me. If you want access to exclusive content and live streams, the link to my Patreon is also in the description. And I hope there was something new that you were able to take away from this video. If so, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.